Hello and welcome back to the Innsmouth Case with me, Bardon. Innsmouth Case, even. Pretty sure it's Innsmouth and not Innsmouth because it's based on... It's in New England, right? So it'd be the same as Portsmouth. Be Innsmouth. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with things. So the Gilman Hotel. You recognise its roof from afar, and after a long walk, it is now before you in full splendour. The Gilman Hotel. At least it's easy to see that it once must have been a gorgeous building. The hotel resembles an old English country estate, but in its present state it would be suited as a setting for a very predictable film about teenagers and chainsaw killers. While the withered ivy has a firm grip on the walls and obscures the details of the richly decorated facade, a gallery of gargoyles melted into unreal shapes by acid rain and acidic pigeon droppings lines the roof. The many window panels have been neglected for years. Only in a few places have a small area been wiped clean in order to see outside. There are two cars in the parking lot, a vintage car with large rust spots and a large grey van. Okay. The kind of van you've always been warned about as a child. Okay, let's inspect the cars. You look around again just to make sure that the people who own the cars aren't hiding somewhere with their shotgun at the ready. The coast is clear. First, you walk over to the antique car. Well, you're not a car expert, but the car looks antique to you anyway. Both seats inside are made of white leather, a bit tacky. You turn away from the antique car and look towards the van. No writing on the side, a regular registration plate. The windows in the front blacked out. Hang on, you have a brainwave. Maybe this is the van into which poor Tabitha has been pulled when she was kidnapped, when she was lured to her awful fate by sweets and lollipops. That sounds... which one? It sounds like utter nonsense to me, but yeah, we're just going to go with that. All of a sudden you realise how absurd this theory sounds. Maybe you would actually solve this case if you did some real investigating and didn't just hang around parking lots. Stealthily you look around. After admiring the old car one last time, you walk back to the hotel. You really hope the inside of the hotel has been looked after a little better than the outside, but you're quickly disabused of that notion. The massive wooden door is difficult to open. Should the staff be doing this anyway? With a loud creaking sound from the hinges and exhausted puffing and panting on your part, you manage to open the door and enter the lobby of the Gilman Hotel. You wonder if guests are even welcome in this place. The room is sparsely lit. There are impressive chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, which, if working, would perhaps not quite give the grand hall back its original splendour, but at least convey more warmth. Your first steps tell you that there are rotten floorboards hidden underneath the thick carpet. The green wall panelling and wallpaper also appear rotten and musty. Sort of wet. Let's go to the reception. Don't have a choice. Oh, look at this guy. Before you let yourself be distracted by the questionable interior design and the associated health issues, you walk purposefully towards the reception desk. A small greenish creature stands behind the counter. The loudly humming ceiling lamp above harshly illuminates his silhouette and gives his face hard edges. You can make out every individual speck of dust and dandruff on his dark green velvet collar and crooked shoulders. Maybe they should be dimming the lights after all. The figure smiles at you, or perhaps it's more of a grin. His face unsettles you. You lean forward at an angle to get a better look at him. The corners of his mouth reach all the way up to his dried up ears. His smile looks like it's painted on. His beady eyes lie deep in the cavity of his skull and seem to stare into opposite directions. Has he even blinked yet? And on top of it all, he smells funny, How may I help you? You're startled and take a step back. Welcome to the Gilman Hotel. My name is Cornelius Gilman III. How may I be of service to you? The man's gaze remains unchanged, and his unnatural smile still seems to be etched into his face. You're still surprised that he can talk with that expression on his face. Just a moment ago, you could have sworn he was an inanimate puppet. Just like now, when he's not speaking. What's wrong with your face? I would like to book a room, please. I would like to book a room, you begin, and manage not to blurt out, in a different hotel. Perfect! The Gilman Hotel is delighted to be able to welcome you as its guest. May I ask whether you're in Innsmouth for business or pleasure? How long will you be staying with us? I'm not sure about that. A few days, maybe. Would you prefer a view towards the beach or the skyline of our exciting town? When would you like to be woken up? Do you sleep deeply? Are you travelling alone? Do you have family? Who knows that you're here? Can I interest you in our spa, fitness and wellness activities? Would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? What? How long can you hold your breath? It's a funny story, actually. I've been able to hold my breath underwater since I was a child. Oh, I've been able to breathe underwater since I was a child. Are we done now? Can I go to my room? The concierge's expression did not change a tiny bit for the duration of your conversation, let alone did he blink. Thank you very much. That was all I needed to know. Now, all you need to do is sign here. He tilts his strangely shaped head over to the guest register. Impatiently, you sign. Let's just go with our real name. I'm sure it's gonna be the wrong thing to do, but it's what we're gonna do. Sadly, we're all booked up this season. There's only one spare room. Here's your key for room 666. Enjoy your stay. You look at the key, which has magically appeared on the counter. Then your eyes slowly wander past the man to the wall, where countless other keys are hanging. What now? Let's go to a room. You look at the golden panel with the layout of the different rooms and floors. Room 666, there it is, 4th floor, left wing of the building. You walk up the stairs to the upper floors, but you can still feel the eyes of the concierge on you. Panting, you finally reach your floor. An almost endless corridor spreads out in front of you. At the other end you can see a figure who seems to be as lost as you are. Didn't the building look much smaller from the outside? You walk down the corridor when you notice the figure approaching you. Your brain is mentally preparing itself for benign hotel small talk. But wait, it's you. You walk a bit further and realise you're standing in front of a mirror. That's why the corridor looks so vast. The mirror marks a fork. According to the room numbers, your room should be further on the left. In the corridor towards the right, you can see a small yellow sign on the floor. Maintenance. What do you want to do? Let's walk around in the other wing of the hotel. Well, you're here already, might as well. You saunter to the other wing of the building. The corridor winds around several corners and leads you deep into the building. Just when you start to wonder what on earth you're doing, here you step onto something hard. The clicking sound makes you stop in your tracks. Ooh, that's not good. You kneel down to look at the glinting thing on the floor. It's a set of keys. Several keys on a metal ring, including a hotel key with the exact same curved shape as yours, and a car key with a black plastic cap. Oh. Is it for the antique car? Someone must have dropped it. Let's examine the floor more closely. No wonder that the key hadn't been spotted before. The red and yellow pattern of the carpet was the perfect camouflage, but the key seems to have been the only thing that was dropped here. At least you can't spot anything else. Let's look for the room that goes with the key. On the key there's a number engraved, 237. Conveniently, this is precisely the door in front of which you're standing. If only all your cases were that easy to solve, you could now return the key to the guest and have a good laugh about it all. I don't think it's going to be that easy. Or just in case they're not there, you might have a little look around the room. Let's knock on the door. In order to not blindside the guest, you decide to knock first. Either these old wooden doors are soundproof, or there's no one in. Even after the second try, no one opens the door. Normally, if it was me, definitely I would not be opening the door, but we are a detective, so let's unlock the door. Initiative is just one of your many great qualities. You unlock the door. In your mind, you are still trying to come up with excuses in case there is someone in the room, but only one glance at the state of the room is enough to dispel these worries. The room is completely dark, not because the shutters are drawn, but because all the windows are plastered with several layers of newspaper clippings. Did a paranoid FBI agent stay here? The smell of something that's been lying in the sun for too long creeps into your nostrils. Every sense that I have is saying get the hell out of here, but we're going to go in. All of this has intrigued you even more. You flip the light switch and shut the door behind you. Why did I shut the door behind me? I'm an idiot. 2 of the 3 ceiling lamps have burned out. The remaining bulb is flickering and doing its best. With every step you take, your shoes come off the floor with a squelching sound. You don't even want to know what's sticking to the floor. What a mess. Dented cans lie scattered on the floor. The many pieces of paper scattered on the floor give the room the air of a snowy landscape. If only it didn't smell so disgustingly. Next to the bed, a pile of empty plastic boxes is piled up and a swarm of flies is buzzing around it. One wall is paved with newspaper clippings, notes and photos. Whoever lives here has spared no effort to create a complex web of places, names and events. Colourful threads connect almost all the pinned notes with one another. Are you staring at the life's work of conspiracy theorists? You stroll through the room, opening drawers here and there, but all the cupboards are empty. A few pieces of clothing lie scattered on the floor. At first, you're not quite sure if they belong to a man or a woman. The shirts are plain, but appear to be tightly fitted. Then you discover a bra. Interesting. You look around. Let's look at the wall more closely. Photos of well-known buildings have been pasted onto the map. A skull and crossbones scribbled over the area you recognise as the town centre. Strange. Is this a tourist spot? A few more skulls have been scribbled on apartment buildings in intermittent intervals. In the harbour area, where the village church is located, the word cult is written. The lighthouse has been circled vigorously with a black pen. 2 exclamation marks have been scattered into the map. Right next to it, your gaze wanders across the map and the photos that have been pinned all over the map and the surrounding wallpaper. Your stomach cramps up when you suddenly see Dahlia Marsh's icy smile look down on you from one of the newspaper clippings. Oh God. Annoyingly, the text is missing. You would have liked to know why her picture was in the newspaper. Looks like the corresponding newspaper has already been discarded. There's no other useful clue, just trash and bits of paper. Damn it. Truly irresponsible, these people who think that no one ever gets to see their paranoia walls. You look around. Let's enter the bathroom. You knock on the door and announce yourself loudly. No one seems to be in. Lucky. Hard to say what would have been more awkward to acknowledge? Your presence or the utter mess all around? You flip the light switch. Guided only by the shine of a flickering light bulb, you step into the bathroom. The air is cold and wet. The bathtub is filled to the brim with water, and there are cosmetic products scattered all over the sink. What now? Let's inspect the bathtub. Doesn't look like anyone actually took a bath though. The water is clean and clear. A bottle of shampoo and shower gel stand ready on a little stool next to the bathtub. Their caps are still shut though. You dunk your hand into the water. It's icy cold. The dirt and the takeaway boxes were a first indication, but now there's no doubt in your mind. Whoever lived here, had to leave the room very quickly indeed. What now? Let's inspect the sink. There are lots of cosmetic products scattered around the sink. There are definitely more than you brought with you. Someone was expecting to stick around for longer. What now? Let's leave the bathroom. There's still so much to do with time, and time is running out for you. You leave the bathroom and wonder where else you could keep looking for clues. Let's take some of the pieces of paper. You grab one of the many pieces of paper lying around the sideboard. Carefully you unfold the scrunched up paper so that the piece doesn't rip, and you can still read the writing. A Polaroid picture falls out. It must have been stashed here in between the pages. You pick it up, and you're not really sure what you were expecting, but you weren't expecting that. It's Tabitha Marsh. It's not simply Tabitha Marsh, it's the exact same photo you have in your possession. Hastily you fish it out of your coat pocket. You place the two pictures next to one another, and indeed both pictures are identical. How's that even possible with Polaroid pictures? On the back of the photo, Dahlia's address has been noted down in spindly handwriting. Whoever drove the van must also have been looking for Tabitha. You wonder if this was your predecessor. A private investigator who has thrown in the towel. You almost forgot about the piece out of the paper from which the Polaroid had fallen. You recognize the handwriting. It's the same that has noted down the address. Thanks for an incredible night. We must repeat it. Dahlia's handwriting. You sit down on the bed, your eyes still on the note. Your detective instinct is kicking in. Usually it's just lying around in the corner of your subconscious all day, mostly hungover, but it's wide awake now. If Dahlia hired this detective before you, could only have been a few days ago. What? Tabitha must have been missing only for a day or two, and her mother flirts with the first investigator she meets? She made eyes at you, too, your subconscious tells you. Obviously, you didn't make as good an impression on her as your predecessor did. You look around. Let's get the hell out of here. Enough. You've seen plenty. With deliberately careful steps, you maneuver the obstacle course of bits of paper, clothes and scrunched up aluminium balls and leave the room. You pocket the key. You can always have a think later about what you're going to do with it. After two more confusing turns and giant mirrors, you reach room 666. Finally, you're going to drop your stuff and take a nap. Good plan. Of course, the door resists being open. You jerk the key back and forth in the lock until you hear a satisfying clicking sound. A soothing warmth hits you as you enter the room immediately. Immediately the synapses in your brain switch into energy saving mode. The trip to Innsmouth has probably taken more out of you, more than you had thought. You don't even notice the rest of the room. The side of the bed makes you yearn for a little shut-eye. Let's unpack first. That's right, you're supposed to do something else. A little girl needs to be found, and a reward for it needs to be paid into your bank account. It's only when you march to the closet that you realise you have nothing to unpack. After your briefcase mysteriously disappeared, all you have left is a very basic survival kit, a toothbrush and travel bottles of various care products that you had stuffed into your coat pockets in a rush. You go into the bathroom and position your treasures around the sink. A handful of ice-cold water is enough to refresh you. Good thing you didn't go straight to bed. Who knows, you might never have woken up again. Now that you feel a little more refreshed, you leave the bathroom and survey your tiny kingdom. Your place is furnished only with the bare necessities. Your bed is flanked by a chest of drawers. At the window there's a desk with curved ornaments, and next to the bathroom door there's a huge, massive, dark wardrobe which extends all the way up to the ceiling. The yellowing floral wallpaper is slowly detaching itself from the walls in some places, and on the wall you can see a range of paintings with elaborately decorated frames. What do you want to do now? Let's open the window. After a day out and about investigating, you have no desire to return to the stuffy room tonight. At least open a window to let some fresh air into the room. The window lock is an unnecessarily complicated crank that you turn around aimlessly for a while until you understand how the mechanism works. Okay, now let's examine the picture more closely. Since this room has not been equipped with a television, you're left with art as your only entertainment. The first picture shows a ship in a choppy sea. The motive looks familiar but pretty. The impressive fight of the small ship against the huge forces of nature. Half hidden in the background you can see a small spot of light. You have to squint and walk up even closer to make out a lighthouse. Even some elements of a town are visible. Could this be Innsmouth? You turn to the next picture and immediately take an involuntary step back. You are looking at a grouchy, weather-beaten man, the embodiment of a sailor, complete with a captain's cap, a full grey beard and a thick black coat collar. The painter of this work opted for a frontal perspective rather than a more advantageous side angle. His head slightly raised, the man's piercing gaze seems to be fixed on something in the far distance. A small spark of light drowns in his sinister eyes. Odd choice for hotel decor. The third and last picture hangs on the adjacent wall, an idyllic view of the beach on a quiet day, a pair of lovers with their backs turned to the viewer. He is wearing a white shirt, she is wearing a yellow dress. The two of them are in an embrace on a sand dune, look towards the horizon. This image fills you with a profound sense of calm. Okay, let's leave the room. You are now reasonably refreshed again and ready to face the town. Armed only with your wallet, your mobile phone and a photo of the little girl, you step out into the corridor and lock the room. You turn right at the first fork, then left again. Right? Anxious to get out, you suddenly find yourself at a dead end. After trying a few other left-right combinations, you finally find the golden sign on the wall, which shows you the way to the stairs. As you walk down the circular stairs, you look at the reception on the first floor. The eerie, almost mechanical smile of the concierge greets you. It's as if he has nothing better to do than watch your every move. You arrive downstairs and you decide to let's head direct to the exit. Discussing details of your accommodation seems like a waste of time to you. With quick steps you hurry out of the building, but you can still feel the eyes of the concierge on you. Time to go and look for Tabitha. Your investigations lead you to... Let's go to the town centre. Let's save the harbour till last. And that's the end of that chapter, so hope you have enjoyed that one. Hope you're keeping safe out there, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button there on the right, or checking out some other videos here on the left, or perhaps you might even share with some friends.